So I got some people with me today, some very special guests to put a bow on the Denver Broncos or put a bow on the Arizona Cardinals game and previewing the Denver Broncos game. So let's get straight to it. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications. Let's go.
After 20 years, we back No more Snyder, more McLaurin. One full with the passion, we scoring. FedEx Field back lit, no it is not boring. John Allen lead the troops, we storming. Burgundy and gold in my veins, yeah I bleed that. St. Jude saw the ball, grab a pig, yeah I need that.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with some special guests in the Washington Commanders community to talk about the Arizona Cardinals game and to preview the Denver Broncos game. But before we do that, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications. I'm going to go ahead and let these two gentlemen introduce themselves. We're going to start to my right. We got a new face on the channel for the first time making his debut. From Being Burgundy Go. Hopefully I said that correctly. If I did, you can correct me. I got Jalen Morgan. Go ahead and take the floor, man, and let the people know all about what you got going on.
What's up, man? No, you definitely said it correctly. Like you said, I'm from Bleeding Burgundy and Gold. My YouTube channel, Jalen Morgan or Bleeding Burgundy and Gold. You can follow me on all socials. And I'm just here to cut up and talk about the Washington Commanders, man. That's what I do. If you follow me on X, I think they're calling me king of the hot takes right now. I didn't want that. But they're calling me king of the hot takes right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and run with it. So make sure you tap into Bleeding BNG for sure.
Definitely. And we got the cool guy to my left with the shades on and the hat, fresh off of 8,000 subscribers. My guy, Real Robison. Go ahead and take it away, man, to let the people know about you.
What's going on, man? It's Real Robison, rambling with Rio, rambling about Washington, all things Commanders. We curate Commander vibes on the channel. If you're there at FedEx Field during a home game, you definitely see me and Jalen out cutting up, turning up, and bringing all the immaculate vibes. Us two and our guy, Josh Taylor, we're like the Heatles. We're the big three when we out there at the stadium. And Sunday was an immaculate day. You couldn't tell me that at halftime because we had a therapy session in the mezzanine during halftime of that game, but we pulled out the W. Like Jalen said, it was ugly, like Jalen likes his women.
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate it, y'all, for coming on again. Let's get straight to it, man. So we're gonna start right there, y'all. I don't know about how y'all feel about it, but I went into this game expecting a blowout. I'm talking 30 to 10.
Yep.
And we didn't do none of that. Now, I will say this. The whole time, even when we was losing, even when we was looking bad and terrible, I knew we were going to win. Like, I just knew they did not have enough for us to actually – I never felt feared. Not at all. But you said a therapy session, so y'all was going through it real, huh? What was you? Did you think we was going to lose or something? Like, what's up?
So me and Jalen, at halftime of every game, we always congregate. And it's usually the same vibes because we always start games on bullshit. And we were so turned up. Not one person predicted a close game in our pregame predictions before in the vlogs and stuff. So Sam Howell gets rocked and he's looking rattled the whole first half. These turnovers. We're losing to the Cardinals at halftime when we expected to win by 2 or 3 scores. So we're definitely going through it. We're all discussing, man, it's the same old Washington team. If they lose this game, I swear I'm wearing a Caleb Williams jersey for the rest of the year. But nah, that's part of being a fan, bro. A fan is short for fanatic. We go crazy for it. But Week 1 was wacky all around, and after I got to leave the stadium and actually sit back and watch all the other games, or at least condensed versions of them, I can say it was a wild Week 1. And our quarterback, who didn't play great, he played better than a lot of quarterbacks league-wide. So it was silver lining. We won the game. Washington has lost that type of game over the years a multitude of times. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, man, I was streaming the game, and so many people came in the stream talking about tank for Caleb Williams. Oh, Sam Howell is trash. I knew I shouldn't have bought into the hype. I'm glad I didn't start Jacoby Brissett. They was going crazy. But all right. So Jalen, talk to me, man. Y'all both at the game. Let me know the fan experience. We heard about it all off season leading up to the game. Jason Wright first brought it out. I noticed at the press conference in the beginning of Josh Harris at FedEx Field. Hey, we're trending towards a sellout. We're trending towards a sellout, and it eventually became one. What was that environment like? I just knew through the TV. I was, like I said, I was doing the play-by-play, and at times I was like, y'all, I'm gonna just be quiet. I just want y'all to hear the TV and just hear how loud it is. Never experienced that. And I just know it was a time to actually be there. So walk me through that from a person that actually experienced it.
It was definitely crazy in there. A complete 180 from what I've experienced. This is my third year as a season ticket holder. Complete 180 from what I experienced just as recent as last year. I remember joking with like a couple of the FedEx Field workers going into the Titans game. It looked like a straight funeral going into there. I saw 3 people going into the stadium, no lie. And I take about I park at the same spot every time. So it's about a 20-minute walk. So to see about 3 fans going into an NFL event in a span of 20 minutes, that was like sickening to see. I actually have like videos of, I was like, man, when I was joking with the FedEx Field workers, I was like, man, it's the easiest day that y'all have ever had. And it was like, you ain't lying. So they was very in tune with me. So to go from that to what we experienced on Sunday, the red zone line was packed. Rio was telling me to get out there at 8 a.m. So I know everybody was out there at 8 a.m. He's an early bird. That's a little too early for me.
You was up hours before. You should have been out there, bro.
I was up hours before, but I'm a little antisocial. I can't be in people's face at 8 o'clock. But the red zone line was definitely packed. And when I got up there about 10:30. Man, the vibes were there. Like the vibes were already there. Legend Plaza was packed. They had concerts going on. They had DJs. They were passing out stuff. It was the ingress and egress. It was a pleasant experience. And then come the fourth quarter. When they really needed us, especially like the defense, that was the loudest I heard FedEx Field in a while. And we got knowledgeable fans, so they got loud at the right time. They got loud when it was third down. They got loud when we was on defense, and it was beautiful to see because it's something that I haven't seen in my 3 years prior as being a season ticket holder.
Yeah, Avery, I know you could piggyback on that. You was out there early. I saw the Instagram stories early at 8 a.m. I mean, I didn't go, but I couldn't sleep the night before. I was up at 6 a.m. It felt like Christmas. Rio, piggyback off that. I know you was lit.
The vibes are crazy when you get up there at 8:30 Eastern Standard on Sunday morning when folks are at church. And the first thing people are doing is handing you shots at 8:30. I'm not even a drinker like that. And they're handing me shots. Me and Josh touched down. There were beers and shots immediately put in our face. A bunch of guys from the UK were down just drinking and getting hammered, man. The vibes were crazy, man. I've seen the tailgate at like before 9 o'clock be as hype as some of the tailgates and some of the games we went to before. Me and Jalen have seen some dead stadiums at FedEx Field.
Oh my gosh, crazy! like graveyards, crazy.
We've had to find entertainment during games before because it really wasn't it. But even going back and watching the game after being there, I've never heard the stadium that loud. Like I was there a couple times during RG3's rookie season, but this was different. Like the fan base is really back. The team won the game, and after Forbes broke up that pass to seal the game, it was incredible. But my favorite part, hype-wise, I ain't never been that hyped for the national anthem before.
Oh my
dude
God.
On the saxophone went absolutely bananas. He held the note for like 20 minutes, like the note that you hit in the national anthem. And they did the flyover and have fireworks start booming as he was doing. Man, it was chill. I felt like Nick Sirianni when the tears was coming down his face. I felt like I wanted to let them Doug tears just fly.
I think I might have cried a little bit, no lie.
I wanted to, bro. That was emotional, bro. I know a lot when they said a saxophonist. I was like, damn, they ain't gonna have nobody sing it. And then I immediately was like, oh, nah, he's the one.
I need him every week. I need pause. Well,
nasty boy.
Nah, man. Yeah. So I mean, just the whole experience. I already know it was amazing there. I mean, we had a ball through the TV. So like I said, I could just imagine y'all there. Now let's actually talk about on field, because again, like I said, we won, but I'm pretty sure all three of us was disappointed. Like the perfect word was with Ron, and applaud Ron Rivera for actually saying something positive in the public eye instead of creating turmoil. He was disappointed, and I felt like that was the proper word to use, because a win is a win, but that's not how we all envisioned it. So let's start from the beginning. You already brought it up, Rio. Sam Howell gets robbed. What was your reaction to that? And it just took the whole air out the stadium, I'm pretty sure, because Kazir White, after that, bro, I wanted to see him, bro. They was all, I don't know if the goal was to injure us, but they was head hunting, bro. I don't know why, but they were going crazy. So talk to me, Rio. What was your initial reaction?
They were playing like Blitz the League, the game back in the day, bro. They was out that joint. Remember Blitz the League, the joint where you could use the steroids and
cigarettes on that joint?
They was playing Blitz the League. First of all, my first thought was, we're going through this shit again. Because when I seen Sam go to the tent and Jacoby walk on the field, I was like, nah, I can't do that shit, bro. I was like, I'm about to turn these season tickets in, bro. Like, I don't, like, bro, no. That fast? Like, I can't imagine what Jets fans are going through right now, because I thought I saw that happening. When Sam went to the tent, Jacoby stepped on the field, I was dead silence, bro. Like, there's no way with all this good karma we have here that we're still going through these things. But yeah, the hits definitely dinged him up a little bit, because Sam did things that Sam doesn't do. Sam is an accurate quarterback. Sam is pretty pinpoint with his ball placement, and it wasn't really there after that hit for a while. It took him a little bit to get going. It's very uncharacteristic of him to throw behind guys. And my first big reaction of the game, though, was when De'Ami Brown was butt naked up the left sideline on a wheel route, and Sam looked at him. He saw it, but he didn't take it. He completed it to Dotson for 11 yards. He took the safer completion, but boy, you got to throw that to your college boy. Bro, the stadium might have combusted if he hit De'Ami Brown for probably, a 70-yard touchdown to start the game. I think if we got that touchdown there, and if fan favorite, but not my favorite, Antonio Gibson didn't fumble in the red zone, we would have got the blowout that we all predicted. But nope, we had to take it the hard way. It's the only way Washington knows, and that is what we know here. Hopefully at some point we'll learn how to put an opponent away early.
Yeah, definitely. I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like the turning point was once AG, fumbled the ball. After that, it felt like all momentum just swinged, because we was on the verge of scoring that drive, and he just put it on the carpet. So now going to Jalen, what do you feel like do you feel like Sam was affected after that hit? A lot of people feel like he wasn't the same. Did you see any like decrease in his performance, as far as you maybe thinking him suffering from that hit, and overall just his performance in the first half?
I know Sam was affected after that hit. I feel like it was obvious to see. And the thing, I wanted to touch back to the concussion test when Sam was going back to the tent. It was the shortest concussion test I've ever seen in my life. They probably went to the sideline and told Sam to count 3, because it's I see right at the 25-yard line, so that's where the blue 10 is. He was in and out quicker than In-N-Out Burger. It was ridiculous. I don't know what kind of test they could give in 10 seconds to assess a concussion. So I'm not going to put it on him. Sam might have been slightly concussed going throughout that game, because like Rio said, I don't know if this is him, because you haven't really seen him in live in action other than the Dallas Cowboy game. But what we've seen in preseason and throughout the time we've been at training camp is he is pretty good with his ball placement. And one that really stands out to me is he threw that dig route about 5 yards behind Terry McLaurin's head. And, overthrows in the middle, those will tend to be interceptions. So that's one that really sticks out in my mind. It's something that we didn't necessarily see this year. Now, is that him once, the fire gets to burning and the lights are real and real games start? I don't know. It's yet to see. But, the Arizona Cardinals, I don't expect NFL teams to be out there head hunting. Bro put my man Sam Howell in a figure 4 leg lock. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know what they was doing. I even made a tweet during the game. Managed to get it off in FedEx Field's horrible Wi-Fi. I tweeted NFL officiating bro, are we gonna keep letting this happen? Like they can do something in real time. I'm like, bro, they're clearly hitting guys, not just Sam. They're hitting guys out of bounds, and that's just Arizona Cardinals remind me of like that JV team that won one game that just had to stick up for themselves and put up pride, and play as dirty as they could get to muck the game up. And that's what they did. And it affected Sam a little bit. I do think it did.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with that because I felt like we coming out, we didn't match their intensity. I felt like maybe we kind of fed into the hype of the players. They probably heard, the whole talk about them tanking, them not being good. So they probably felt like, just as the fans did, hey, this cake, you know what I'm saying? And then they came out, going crazy. I mean, and they have their team with no expectations, so it's like you might as well go out there trying to play your hardest. He also hit Jahan Dawson too. You know what I'm saying? That drew a flag. I'm like, hey, do that, because that was a big reason why we had a scoring drive anyway, because of all them penalties, man. But yeah, Sam Howell, I definitely was disappointed, but what do we expect? He's 22. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, I had sent it to Rio, and Rio, I only sent you one. It was like hundreds of people that already was calling Sam Howell trash and like saying tank for Caleb Williams. I'm just like,
you got to remember what these people, bless them. You got to remember these people are the people that thought Taylor Heineke should get a long-term deal and be a franchise quarterback here. So you got to know there's a different type of group we got here, man.
Yeah, I'm like, this is crazy. He's 22. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have ups and downs, but these are going to be the same people that once he finally has that game where he goes crazy, they're going to act like they was hitting it. Right.
He made 3 throws Sunday we haven't seen in our lives here as a quarterback, bro. Like, he made a couple throws that just absolutely, that is why he's the guy here. He made 3 throws, just next level, top tier NFL throws that our last like 10 quarterbacks could not do. So there's reasons. As long as you flash in the midst of the struggling and we win the game, we can work through that.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to also just move on from Sam and go to the other things that the offense, transpired, because offensive line, to me, they gave up 6 sacks, but some of them were on Sam. And upon further review, they weren't that bad, but the tackle, right tackle, Andrew Wiley, was horrible, bro. I'm like, oh my God, I heard it. Like, he's not that good, but I just didn't expect it. And then, as you mentioned, that the running backs were pretty bad. Opposite Antonio Gibson fumbling. The offensive line not opening holes. Or I think it was AG. Somebody put it on Twitter where it was like a pink and a blue and a yellow line. He was like, "Which way did Antonio Gibson go?" And he went right into the back of the center when he had the pink line, wide open. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna start with you, Jalen. Your overall point of view of the offensive line, and are you confident that they could potentially get better, or do you feel like we're kind of doomed there?
I want to combat what you said, but I feel like this is the sense of what the Washington community has come up with over the course of the last 3 games. Once the all 22 comes out, the offensive line was that bad, bro. And yeah, a couple of those sacks were on Sam, but I look at the whole spectrum, right? Everybody, when they talk about offensive line play, they talk about pass protection. We get no push in the run game, right? And everybody wants to bash the backs for that. And as I mentioned in one of my podcast episodes, we know that Antonio Gibson has no, right? Brian Robison in his years at Alabama and last year during the regular season as well as the preseason, he showed elite type vision. He showed elite type patience. And for him to not exhibit that last week and him to be running up guys' backs like Antonio Gibson, that told me that they already assumed that the offensive line isn't going to get pushed. So they're going to run up in their back, pause. They're going to run up in their backside and get as many yards as they can with the leg drop. And you see it. Like, you see it. I mentioned before, the day that Charles Leno gets pushed in the run game will be the first day that Charles Leno gets pushed in the run game. And everybody wants to talk about, he's man of the year, this, that, and the third. And a lot of times people bash his play and talk about like Kayvon Thibodeau beating him around the edge and things like that. Y'all let me know when I was about to say Cornelius Lucas, when Charles Leno had ever blown anybody off the ball. When have you ever seen Charles Leno playing was like that?
But did you see his win rush rate for week 1, Jalen?
Yeah, oh my, you talking about PFF? You talking about those guys? The guys that don't know what's going on? Yeah, absolutely. I did see that. But those are the same guys that had like Deron Payne as like our 11th best player on defense. So I really don't understand it. But the offensive line was that bad to me. I think that the interior of the line actually is pretty promising, though. Sam Cosmi is the only lineman to get pushed in the run game. Sadiq Charles he has a mean streak. I think that he needs a little bit more fundamental strength. But everybody wants to bash him for tripping over his own player. And that just happens with football, especially in week one when you're working through the logistical plays. I think that Sadiq actually held up and surprised me for actually one of his, I don't think it's his first, but one of his early career starts at the left guard position. So, I mean, I think it's a lot to do with the offensive line. And I'm not even gonna lie, I'm a little skeptical of if we can be able to turn it around because, as I mentioned before, Andrew Wiley's not the answer, right? And if they think that he's better than Cornelius Lucas, then like what can we really do?
Yeah, I mean, and I ain't even gonna blame you or fault you for thinking that it was Sadiq Charles' first thought potentially, because that man is never healthy. That's why you probably thought that. But nah, I definitely can see that from the sense of the offensive line being really that bad. Obviously Sam Cosmi's like the guy that I feel like has the potential to be really good, but he's always hurt. He got hurt in this game. I think he's fine though. So the interior is promising. Ricky Stromberg got in there for a few snaps. He looked a little lost on the one screenplay, maybe because he didn't know who to touch, but he looked a little lost, but that's promising. But Rio, talk to me. How do you feel about, and I'll answer this super chat after, before, but talk to me about the offensive line too. But shout out to my guy, Philip B. I appreciate you for the super chase. This was good, fam. I have to check the playback, but smash that like button. You heard the man. Hit that like button and make sure you guys check out everybody up here. But Rio, talk to me about the offensive line.
Yep, y'all heard the man, though. Smash that like button. And if y'all ain't subscribed to Juan, if y'all not subscribed to Jalen, make sure you're subscribed to all their channels, bro. We got to get my guy Jalen to 1K. We got to get Juan to 6K. Support the community, man. We do this over here. We bring the content. We don't push agendas, and we bring real narratives and not media-driven narratives. We keep it real. But speaking on the offensive line, y'all said Cosmi got hurt on Sunday. You want to know why Cosmi got hurt on Sunday? Because Washington needs to be permanently banned from picking second-round picks. Because you know who else got hurt on Sunday? Quan Martin. He got a concussion after getting a penalty and not really playing. So, bro, when the last time we had a second-round pick hit, bro? Like, seriously. Like, I don't even...
You got style for Darian Mathis? I mean, I'm still looking for him.
I don't even know where Darian Mathis not even on an active roster. He on the
I didn't even see him on the sideline Sunday.
Darian Mathis is a season ticket member right now. You know what I'm saying? He's paying to get in the games on Sundays. And Juan Martin's concussed, and the little that he did play, he got a penalty, didn't look good, and barely got on the field. And Sam Cosmi, we think he could be our best lineman. He's got hurt every year he's played football. Second-round picks. I almost feel like I don't want him. Just trade into the first round every year. Just trade back into the first round because for some reason we can never get it right. But we are under new ownership, and I imagine we're going to have a new front office structure next year. I don't think the offensive line played as bad as it appeared at the stadium when I went back and watched the game 2 or 3 times over the last couple of days. Andrew Wiley stinks, but I don't think he was as bad as it looked in person, but he's not good. He's not good. He hasn't looked good in preseason. He hasn't looked good in camp. And honestly, the Super Bowl was like the worst thing to happen to him because it convinced people that he's a good right tackle because his play during the regular season does not look like it did in the Super Bowl versus the Philadelphia Eagles. So he took that highlight tape, he cut out all of the season and said, look what I did in the Super Bowl, pay me. EB said, that's my guy. He can chop wood. Hasn't chopped wood since he got here, man. Has not chopped wood since he's got here. Gates, we didn't hear much about Gates, which is good. When you don't hear about the center, it's a good thing because you really don't need to hear about guys that snap the ball. Don't tell Cam Cheeseman that, though, because we hear about him all the time. He's a legit issue, and I'm sure we're going to get to him before this stream is over.
We are.
Charles Leno was our highest graded offensive lineman by Pygraph Twitter, a.k.a. PFF, where the eye test does not matter. And Charles Leno was fine. He was what he always is. He's never good. He's never bad. He's steady Eddie. He's steady Eddie. He's good luck Chuck. He's the guy that fills the seats until the actual person who's supposed to come there unseats him as the left tackle. The left tackle Sadiq Charles plays with good play strength. Like Jalen said, he plays with really good play strength. We got to see if this guy's calves can hold up for 2 weeks in a row before we can give a real assessment on him. We're going to have a lot of conversations about it, but as I went back, most of the sacks weren't even on them. It was on Sam in the backs or someone not picking up their assignment. Like Sam Howell, love the guy, think he's going to be really good still. I'm still on board with Sam. That's my guy. He holds on to the ball and pats that shit for an hour. Like he be back that joint trying to make a beat with the football. Like, and I think some of it too was because like Jalen said, that man played with a concussion on Sunday, bro. There's no way he wasn't. They asked him what school he played for and sent him right back on the field.
Man.
It was something. It had to be something along the lines of that. That was the quickest concussion test I've seen in my life, bro.
They hit him with the back of the day. He just got his bell rung and put him back in the game. That's crazy.
That man saw Jacoby Brissett about to come, and he like, nah. And I'm sitting over here like, yes, because if Jacoby Brissett came into the game, I'm like, oh my god.
I wanted no parts of a quarterback controversy. I wanted no parts of anything. I didn't want Jacoby to take one snap. I was like, Ron, call a timeout. I'm needing a timeout. This shit. Do whatever you got to take. I don't want Jacoby throwing one pass in this game because I already know how these fans get, bro.
Exactly. But Gunner, I appreciate you for the super chat. My guy, he says, let's dethrone King Simp Russ on Sunday. We'll get to that a little bit later, but we're still recapping the Arizona Cardinals game. Now, I felt like we touched on the whole offense. You know what I'm saying? Pretty mid, not what we expected. I mean, we can touch on the play calling too, because a lot of people
talk about the running back. We should give the running backs a little bit more time.
Yeah, we can talk about the running backs, and you can also actually add in EB, because a lot of people not only were overreacting about Sam Howell, but overreacting about Eric Enemy too. So go ahead, Rio, kick us off with that.
From being there, I thought the play calling wasn't good. I didn't think he called a good game, but after watching it on TV, he called a pretty good game. It's just in the second half, we were in survival mode. We were in survival, don't blow the bag mode, where we feel like we're in control, not pass it. It felt very Scott Turner-ish, though, because we were refusing to – like, we got the ball in the red zone and ran it 3 times in a row. I wanted to vomit in my seat.
I was just about to bring that up, man. That was terrible. Like, I get it. I understand why we did it, but I don't want to get it because I want to be aggressive. I want touchdowns.
I was
not
disgusted
field goals. Yeah, like we did it because obviously we don't think they can go score. And that says so much about your defense. But what does that say about your offense that you don't have confidence in them to not turn over the ball and actually go get points for like a touchdown?
That felt very Ronald Eugene Rivera, like he told EB not to. But I imagine that was EB's call. And that pissed me off because that felt so Scott Turner-like. And I don't want to feel like this is Scott Turner all over again. You can't run it 3 times in a row to your back that has 60 yards on 20 carries. 60 yards on 20 carries is so dirt. None of these running backs are like, I know it's 1 week and I like Brian Robinson alike. We don't have a special back on this roster, bro. We don't have a one hitter. We don't have a special back. We don't really have a guy that break a 20-yarder on the roster, bro. Who's the last person to run for 20 yards? It was like Taylor Heineke. Like, bro, like, I don't know, man. The running backs, it's week 1, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. But if we put up another 20-carry, 58-yard performance in week 2 versus the Broncos, whose best defenders are in the secondary and not in the front 7, we got some real issues, and we may need to make that Kareem Hunt phone call.
No, I definitely agree because I'm sitting there watching Monday Night Football and watching a Breece Hall fresh off of a torn ACL just go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's amazing, bro. And then they throw in Dalvin Cook too. Like, I'm just like, bro, we sitting over here with nothing, and we can use that. You know what I'm saying? But
whenever us content creators suggest drafting a running back, people lose their minds over it. Like, what are you talking about?
That's the Antonio Gibson have. You know he got a have. You know we love having for unproductive players.
We love it. It's what we do.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna hold you. I'm a big Antonio Gibson fan, but it's just like I'm not delusional. I know when to draw the line and be realistic. Like, come on, bro, you're not a running back. Obviously, after that 2020 year, it got to everybody's head. You know what I'm saying? Having all those touchdowns, but it's obvious he's not a running back. He needs to get the ball out in space. He's a gadget guy. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't want to come to grips with that, like you said. When somebody's a fan of somebody, they're gonna ride with them, which I can understand. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and flip gears to the defense because this is where it's gonna get spicy. Because I know we all 3 agree on this take. Let's start right there because I just saw the comment. It's Chase Young playing Sunday. Let's go ahead and start with Jalen because Jalen's the first guy that I seen actually bring up the point that Chase Young doesn't want to be here. So go ahead, Jalen, talk to me, man, about Chase Young in general and your thoughts about him playing on Sunday.
Shit. All right, Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer, right? I mean, I got radio hosts coming at me crazy. Radio hosts getting the panties in a bunch over expos. I must be doing something right. But and I always wanted to say that, yeah, I feel like I was the first one, but I never wanted, I didn't think that I put it out there as a report. I want to say that here, that this is my opinion, but like I'm not delusional, like you said. The optics are there. This is a guy that's never come to OTAs, right? This is a guy that was cleared for 2 months last year and took an extra 2 months to come back. And this is a guy now that was cleared last week for a stinger, or what was called a stinger, and isn't coming back for another 2 weeks. So, I mean, like I said, the optics are there. Like, even in the quotes that he had, years ago, gotta make that money, babe. He shows you where your priorities are. So I just want to say that, because a lot of people took that and kind of ran with it like I was reporting something. It was like, oh, did he tell you that personally? No, just use your fucking eyes, guys. I'm sorry, I don't know if you cuss on this stream. Wow. Just use your eyes. Just use your eyes, guys. Just use your eyes, because the optics are there. Like, this guy doesn't want to be here. He's a cheerleader. And I'm not saying that he doesn't like want to play football, right? I'm saying that he'd rather play with another organization. And I think it's clear as day. And I feel like if you guys are just watching, you'll see it, and just open your eyes to it. That's it.
And I honestly, like I said, I'm a realist at the end of the day. I'm a big Chase Young fan. You know what I'm saying? Because he's from where I'm from, or pretty much all of us. You know what I'm saying? But we ride from, because he's the hometown guy, and we expected so much out of him. Number 2 overall pick, generational talent. Stop me when I'm lying. They said he was supposed to be better than both Bosa brothers. We have not seen none of that yet. You know, so and that is where a lot of fans are, I feel like, still kind of defending him real funny about it. He said they want to sleep with him. I'm like, it seems like it, because they defending a guy that had 1.5 sacks up into his torn ACL. He was getting boxed. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is coming from a guy that defends him a lot. It's obvious. I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Injuries happen, but Ron Rivera said it was self-diagnosed. That right there told me all I needed to know about Chase Young and him wanting to play football for the Washington Commanders. And then you sit over here and watch a guy like Montez Sweat, who a lot of people would rather pay Chase Young over Montez Sweat. And I'm just like, why? Like, I said it like this personally. I said I would want it to be Chase Young because we invested so much more in him, number 2 overall pick. But at this current moment, how can you do that when a guy like Montez Sweat is producing and Chase Young isn't producing? So I don't know if he's going to play on Sunday. I honestly, I don't want to say I don't care if he doesn't play, because, I mean, you can clearly see Andre Jones. He needs some work. You know, we don't have nobody on the opposite side of Montez Sweat, and we know Chase Young, at least presence-wise, I don't know if he's actually going to do something, but his presence is way better than anything we have backing him up. So I don't want to say I don't care if he plays, but I'm kind of trending towards that thing, because, I mean, he doesn't play, so it's kind of, we're used to him not being out there. It's like we don't care anymore. But Rio, let me know. I know you also kind of with us too in the same Chase Young round.
I'm there. I'll take it a step further, bro. Like, not wanting to play. I'm not sure he wants to play football, bro. Like, I think Chase Young is like a professional celebrity at this point. He wants to be on the scene. He wants to be wherever the people are. Chase Young's number 1 goal in life right now is probably figuring out how he could get on the list to go to Michael Rubin's all-white party next year. Because
making that money, baby. Y'all make that money, baby.
Because I know he's sick that every star in the world was at that party. But I'm sorry, 9.5 career sacks does not get you an invite to the Michael Rubin all-white party. But yeah, man, like, I don't know if the love's there. I don't know if he's a worker. He just rubs me the wrong way, and I'm one of those fans who's objective enough to say when a guy's rubbing me the wrong way. I'm not going to wave pom-poms for a guy that I don't think wants to play football. Montez Sweat wants to play football, and it's going to stop at nothing to chase his bag this year. Chase Young is there for vibes. He's just on the side. Chase Young is there so he can get in the team photos every week. Chase Young finds Emily Fales and Courtney Carroll, the team photographers, more than he finds quarterbacks on Sunday, because Chase Young always the first face you see on the sideline whenever the cameras are flashing. The boy don't miss a photo op. The boy ain't got a sack in a couple years, man, because don't let people throw away the tape. He played in 3 games last year. You wouldn't know it, but he did play in 3 games last year.
He played in 9 games in 2021 and had 1.5 more sacks than me. And nobody wants to talk about that. You did, Juan, and I wanted to credit you before you went to Rio. But everybody talks about Chase Young and his injury history. He did nothing for 9 games when he was healthy as hell in 2021. Why does everybody seem to have amnesia when that's brought up?
And why do we act like he's the first player to get injured? You know who else tore their ACL? Nick Bosa. You know what he did last year? Defensive Player of the Year. You know who else tore their ACL? Joe Burrow. He's been to a Super Bowl.
Von Miller. Like, the list goes on and on, but we got to make excuses for Chase because, we fanboys for Chase,
Yeah, man. I want to see the local guys make it, but not that bad, bro. It ain't that deep, bro. You got to want it. You got to show me you want it. I think Chase's family want it more than him because I see his mom and his sister and them at the stadium, and they want it. They want it. They put in more work at FedEx Field on Sundays than Chase did.
Yeah, and I mean, I said that in my video. I said, I'm a supporter guy, but when I start to feel like I want it more than the actual person that's reaping the benefits of playing in the national, you might as well throw me out there because I want it more than you. And I think I could probably, shed a block better than you because clearly you can't. Because like you said, he got hurt in week 11 versus Tampa Bay. Before that, he was you didn't hear nothing from Chase Young. And everyone wants to bring up, he's double team, triple team.
He's not.
That was in 2020. Let it go.
The world was shut down last time he was nice.
Everybody was wearing masks the last time Chase Young was nice, bro. Like,
and then I also feel like it's the national media. They just living so much off of this hype of the 2020 year, which I go on record so many times saying, not discrediting his 2020 year because it was good, but it was not that good, bro. Like going back on it, it was not amazing. It was cool. It was good for a rookie of the year because I don't even know if he had any other competition. Maybe someone said Karen McCurl, but I don't even know if he had legitimate other defensive competition.
He was like Jeremy Chin.
That year, you know what I'm saying? Like 7.5, it was cool. But if that's all you're banking on, and we're 4 years later, 3.5, 4 years later, it's like, bro, I'm kind of.
This is how sick the Chase Hive gets. They didn't even want to allow people to be wowed by Aiden Hutchinson on Thursday Night Football last week. If you were wowed by, he didn't get the sack. He didn't do anything.
But listen, hold on really quickly, and we can close this out on here if you wanted to, Juan. But I wanted to touch back on you. Yeah, like I want Chase. Chase has the star factor, right? He has the pedigree coming from DeMatha, coming from Ohio State. He's marketable. And I think that's why the national media, you see, he's still in NFL commercials, and he played 3 games last year. They found the 2 or 3 clips that Chase Young played last year, and they found a way to spread them in these national media commercials. And I said this because there was a live stream that we did before the Cleveland Browns game, and I tweeted it, and everybody seems to make it seem like I hate Chase Young and I root against these players. Go back and look at that tweet. I said, I want this dude to be so good because he has the star factor. And since then, he's done nothing but get blocked to the inside, miss a tackle with Deshaun Watson, miss a sack, and hasn't played for 3 weeks. So, like, what do you want me to do at that point? Like, what do you want me to do at that point?
Yeah, man. I mean, I agree wholeheartedly, bro. Like, yes, he's a really good run stuffer, but we're not paying edge rushers to be run stuffers, bro. We can get somebody in the 6th round to do that. But
gotta stop calling people haters because we're objective too. I don't actively root against anybody on our roster. I love this team. We're out there, boots on the ground at camp, at practice, during games, preseason, regular
ticket
season.
holders, man.
We're
like
there. Why would we want anybody to fail just to do our narrative? That's what the media do. I don't want nobody to fail. I want Chase Young to be great, but I think the ship sailed on that, bro.
I mean, just send him to Pittsburgh, bro. You know Mike Tomlin want him, bro. Just let him go to Pittsburgh. Because I look at it like this: even if Chase Young was to come back and have 12.5, 13 sacks, he's not re-signing here. Like he's going to leave in free agency and go somewhere else. Because like y'all brought up, he does not want to be here. So let's go ahead to answer your question though. I don't really know. I don't think he's going to play Sunday, but I really can't tell you because I mean I'm
No.
not even worried. I'm not even worried about him, to be honest with you, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
He's not playing.
But let's go. Let's talk about some pause. Let's go to the other edge rusher, the one that actually wants to be out there, the one that's actually about to get this bag this season. Rio, talk to me about Montez Sweat. What'd you see from him, obviously, and is he primed for a Deron Payne kind of year?
Oh, he's gonna get more than Deron Payne. He saw that Nick Bosa contract and he said, "Let's go." He said, "Let's go." He saw that Nick Bosa 123 million guaranteed, 170 million over 5, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm coming for mines, man." I know him and Chase Young are best friends. Chase is his biggest cheerleader. Chase enjoyed it so much. Chase is a great teammate on the sideline during games. You know what I'm saying? He jumps up and down. He gets real hype. The neck looks super fine to me over there. The reflexes look fine, by the way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, remember it was Zoom too. I don't know what you can do through a Zoom call to tell you if you're good or not. But remember, it was through Zoom too.
Yeah. But Montez went crazy. A sack and a half, 2 forced fumbles, 2 tackles for loss. Man child. The D-line is absurd. We don't skip a beat or stop because 99 isn't playing, because it's not like either of those guys are used to him playing because he hasn't been on the field for a very long time. But Montez is coming for his bag. He's going to get his bag. I hope we can start campaigning for him to throw his hat in the ring for a defensive player of the year type season, because how nice would it be to see one of our edge rushers go off for 12 plus sacks? You know, Ryan Kerrigan, who was not near the athlete or physically gifted as Chase and Sweat, used to give us 12 plus sacks, 11 plus sacks religiously, because he was sharp on his craft. He knew how to use his hands, and he had a pass rush plan. Montez Sweat, he wanted it. He wanted it. Yes, he wanted it. First round pick, absolute home run hit. Tez, biggest problem, it was never getting to the quarterback because the pressure rate was high, because he always gets there. Instead, he never finished. He's coming to finish this year, and it looks like he's actually put the work in to do so. Can't say the same about everybody in that edge rush room, but Chase Young, my bad. Montez put the work in, and I would like to see it continue where the altitude is high in Denver this weekend.
Yeah, and it was also against Paris Johnson too, their first round pick. So it wasn't like he was going up against no slouch. So you think if he has a really good year, he's gonna get Nick Bosa kind of money?
I don't know about Nick Bosa, but he's gonna get probably something like 23 million a year, 24 million a year. He's going to be up there. It's probably 23 million a year, 95 million guaranteed, something like that. The money keeps rising in the league. Like Daniel Jones is making $40 million a year. So Montez Sweat making $25 million a year does not sound crazy to me.
I mean, he's already sneaky top 10 in franchise history in sacks. So he's putting.
I was just going to bring that up too, man. They just said it. He's climbing the ranks. So, all right, Jalen, talk to me. Not even just about Montez Sweat, but the rest of the defensive line. Take away your assessment from them. I know they were dominant, but anybody besides Montez Sweat, that you want to talk about too.
I mean, John Allen and Deron Payne, they're grown men, right? I mean, they do what we expect them to do. And I think that's why late in the season last year, early in the season last year, we were so surprised when they were getting run on against like the Detroit Lions last year or the Cleveland Browns, is because when they're not on their A game, the whole thing falls apart, the entire defense. So when they're playing possessed, both of those guys were playing possessed last Sunday. I mean, the sky's the limit, right? I mean, you can only double team but so many people, right? And you got Deron Payne, who, if he played, Deron Payne played in the run game as well as I've seen him play the run game since his rookie year, where they brought him in to be like a primary run stuffer. If you guys remember, we brought Deron Payne in to play a lot of two-gap before we changed over our schemes. Last Sunday, I saw him playing the run well. He didn't get the sack like Montez and like John, but I think he might have had the best all-around game. No, I'm not going to say that. Montez Sweat was a freak show. But he was right behind Montez Sweat as far as just having an all-around solid game. And then I like our depth. Amir Abdullah came in and balled out. I'm a big John Ridgeway guy. Anytime you suplex a guy on the NFL field, I'm your fan. I'm your biggest fan from here on out. So I'll always advocate for John Ridgeway being on the active roster. I love the depth. And Rio knows I'm a big James Smith-Williams guy as well, because I think that he's what you want when you bring in a guy in the 7th round. A great depth piece that's giving you the same production as a guy like Chase Young was doing in the 2021 season in his 9 games, if we're being honest. But you paying that at a 7th round price tag. He's a freak. He's a guy that can not only rush from the interior, but he can also rush from the outside as well. They bring him into the interior for like sub packages. Something that they do with F.A. Obata as well. And I think that F.A. Obata might need to hurry up and get back on this field if you want to see some play time.
Yeah, that him, and I mean, like you said, they play so much, so we kind of don't like, unless we think about it, like look for Fedorian Mathis. But he's a guy that, I mean, I did not like the pick anyway. I was like, what are we doing? Like, I understood going into that draft, you didn't know Deron Payne was going to be back, quote unquote, but you had to know that you wanted him, you had interest in him. I did not like that pick at all. In fact, I did not like the Brian Robison pick either at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Because I was such a big Antonio Gibson fan. And I'm the biggest Jared Patterson fan. So, like, I was being delusional. Even I don't think I was, because I feel like he can play at this level. I was being delusional. I'm like, put Jared Patterson out there, man. He could be our third down back. J.D. McKissick was still around at the time. But, no, let's now talk about the secondary, then we'll get off the defense, man. Rio, talk to me about the secondary as a whole. You know what I'm saying? And what were some positives that you took away from it? And Emmanuel Forbes, there go the question right there. Is he going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year? I think his playing time needs to increase if he's going to do that, because I think he played 60% of the snaps. We'll get to that later. But Rio, talk to me about the secondary positives and negative takeaways.
Yep, and just to close out the edge rusher and D-line talk, I seen Jay said every time he sees Micah Parsons, he thinks about what Chase Young should have been. Man.
I mean, Micah Parsons is so good, man.
That's generation.
He's the one. He's the one.
And I hate that Dallas has that, bro. But yeah, secondary, right?
Yeah.
First things first. Catch your interceptions, bro.
Should have had three.
Cam Curl, you want this contract. We know you're a dog. You tackle everything that comes in front of you or near you. You need to give us some turnover production in the year you want a contract. You ain't caught a pick since 2020. You know what I'm saying? Chase Young was good last time you caught a pick. That's, you know what I'm saying? It was a minute ago. It was a minute. We're gonna keep taking them shots, bro. I'm sorry. I'm upset. I'm petty. I'm petty. So I'm gonna take my shots whenever I see them there. But Cam Curl, Forbes dropped picks. They blew me. I wanted that one so bad for Forbes to close the game. Cam Curl, I need that in the contract year. Not mad at the Kendall Fuller one. Kendall Fuller's hands don't start working until after Halloween. Kendall Fuller does not catch anything till after Halloween, bro. Maybe he's a festive guy. Maybe the holiday season gets different for him, bro. You got to start playing the Mariah Carey Christmas song before Kendall Fuller gets going, bro, because he gets a slow start to the season every year. But the secondary looked good. The safety's flying all over the place. Percy Butler flying all over the place too. We have 3 really good safeties. The corners did their job. St. Juice looked good when he was out there too. The secondary in the D-line, they're going to do their work. They're always going to do their work. No problems on that end. Oh, my biggest problem on that end is, why does Jack still line our corners up in the first row of the farther end zone, bro? Like, they're like 10 yards off the ball, even if it's 3rd and 5. I don't understand it. Jack's done it the whole time he's been here. But, yeah, man, the secondary, I would like to see us be more aggressive, play more man, and stop putting our corners back so deep to start the play. But yeah, I'm very fine with the play of the secondary on Sunday.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback off that with Cam Curl. He should have had 2. He had a strip sack he almost got, and he should have had a pick. The secondary was really good. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely a positive play out of all those guys, to be honest with you. I do want to see and Forbes, his playtime increased, but Benjamin St. Juice played 100% of the snaps, man. I was so surprised. I'm like, yes, because St. Juice has it, man. That he just was struggling with injuries. And as to Kendall Fuller, hands not working, right? I'm just glad he played good, okay? Because typically he be getting cooked into Halloween time. So I'm just glad he played good. Yeah, he didn't catch no picks, but I'm just glad he was out there good. Jalen, talk to me, man. How do you feel about the secondary? I'm pretty sure you can echo that, though. You feel good?
The secondary is elite. I think we got the best safety conglomerate in the NFL. I call him a conglomerate because I don't think it's just a duo. Percy Butler was definitely out there flying around. Percy Butler tracking down ball carriers is probably one of my favorite things to watch when I'm watching games. He did it when he tracked down Zeke in week 17, and I forgot who he ran down this past week, but it was the same thing over and over again. He's rangy. And with the versatility with a guy like Cam Curl that not only play in the box but play in the post as well, I think that we're going to see a lot more 3 safety sets as we go throughout the season. As I mentioned before, I won't be surprised if we see a 5 defensive lineman, 6 DB set at some point in the season, something that I don't think I've ever seen in the entire NFL, like all my years of watching the NFL. Now, I don't know if we're ever going to see it because Jack Del Rio has the most vanilla defenses of all time, but that's something I would do to get my best players on the field. Big Benjamin St. Juice guy over here. I think that he has the versatility. I was glad to see him do well in the slot. And, yeah, I put you Matty Forbes. I think that he needs more playing time. I feel like they're giving Kendall Fuller that veteran deference, you know. But if you looked at the final play that Emmanuel Forbes made on that dig route, that was teach tape technique on, you know, trail, having trail coverage on the receiver. He basically ran a route for the receiver with the safety over top. And that showed me that he's smart and he knows how to play his assignment. So that's a positive to see as well. So I'm really, really high on the secondary.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that. Now let's talk about the last component, man. We got a lot to say about this, and we shouldn't. But special teams. First of all, let's get the positives out the way. All Pro Revo. He's the only guy that can make me want to get excited about special teams. I mean, this guy was getting held, blocked in the back, and he's still the first guy down there on special teams. He makes special teams so lit, bro. And then obviously Tressway, man, booming punt. You know what I'm saying? Literally flipped field position. Tressway is a dog. We know that. Joey Sly, shout out to Joey Sly for you know, having to deal with that. I feel bad for you, Joey. I think I could probably long snap better than Cam Cheeseman at this point. Rio, start me off with that because we're all pissed about it. Why do we even have to talk about Cameron Cheeseman? Because we shouldn't.
A long snapper should never be a point of conversation from football fans or in the media or anything. The fact that Ron has to come out and say, yeah, the snapper's a problem. He's a concern right now. Like this, the fact that he had to say that in his media availability today is a problem. Oh, and before, like we finished with the defense, but I just want to give a shout out to a guy I'm hard on. Jamin Davis had a good game on Sunday.
Yes,
Jamin
he did. Say it again. Say it again. Nah, say it again, bro. Say it again.
I knew Jalen was gonna like that because we be tearing Jamin up in the group chat, bro.
No, y'all be tearing Jamin up in the group chat.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
Hell yeah, Jalen rides for Speed Racer, but he had a good game on Sunday. The other linebacker did not have a good game on Sunday. Cody Barton was getting this shit washed all over the field. But yeah, long snapper, that's an issue. We traded up for him. We traded up for a long snapper in a year where there was the words generational long snappers in that draft class. We had to make sure we got this guy. You have one job to do as a long snapper. Long snap. How do you lose the ability to do such? It's very perplexing, and that shit's going to lose us a game if it's not fixed. I don't know what it is. Tressway and Slide, I don't know if they need to bully him. I don't know if they need to have a real man-to-man with him. They need to go out and have a retreat with him, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what they need to do, but he needs to go back to what he was doing before because I don't know you've been long snapping your whole life. Why would you just change your technique this year? I don't know what it is, but that's an issue. And if it's an issue that needs to be rectified, I'm sure there's a long snapper available because I imagine there's more people who can do what he does.
Man, that ain't no technique change. That's the yips. That boy has the yips. He ain't switched nothing up. That is code word for I done fucked up drafting this long snapper, and I don't know what to do at this point.
Man.
I mean, I just don't know. Like, we had no problems last year. I don't know what's going on.
How many snapping techniques could it be, right? Like, I played center before, right? So how many snapping techniques?
Why is that funny as shit?
No, like way back in the day. I was like a chubby second grader, bro. I definitely played center, though.
Jalen was rocking 62.
No, it was definitely like 54, you know.
Oh, you was Cam Cheeseman?
You was Cam Cheeseman.
In real life.
Yeah, no, but I just don't know, man. I said it. Like, I keep saying it. I keep reiterating. I'm like, we're getting away with it now because Tressway is such a dog. But it's going to end up hurting us one time. And I don't want to jinx it, but I just know it's a long season and he needs to figure this out now. We should not be having this conversation about Cameron Cheezer, but we covered everything, man, as regards to this game. Now let's switch gears. You know, we'll get out of here soon, but let's switch gears and talk about this Broncos game, man. This scares me, okay? I'll be the first to say it because I'm not going to say I'm used to going 1-0, but we've done it 3 out of 4 years with Ron Rivera. This is the true test. This is where we struggle. Rio, first of all, start me off with how do we come out of this game 2-0 and we successfully defeat the Denver Broncos that is vulnerable, 17-6 loss versus the Raiders?
One, we get after washed Russ. Russ is washed. He's a shell of who he formerly was. But first things first, I need Washington to not be the Washington we know and loved over the last 20 years or so, because Washington coming off a victory is very susceptible to come out and have a stinker on Sunday. Last year, we come off a victory versus the Jags week 1. We go up to Detroit and lay a whole ass egg on Sunday afternoon. We were down like 22-0 at halftime, and we looked terrible. I need Washington to avoid that. I need them to not be slump busters. Everybody who's struggling with something always finds a way to fix it versus Washington. Perfect example. We played the Vikings last year. Justin Jefferson is not calling a touchdown since week 2. What did Justin Jefferson do like the first drive of the game? Caught him a goddamn touchdown versus Washington, man. Everybody, whenever you hear someone say, this guy hasn't done this since, Washington does it. Washington fixes it. We're the elixir, we're the ailment, we're the cure to all ailments. And we cannot let Russ look like vintage Seattle Russ over there, because Sean Payton only trusts this man to throw checkdowns right now. They are not spreading that field out, and they're relying on guys named Lil Jordan Humphrey and Samaje Perine right now. We should win this game, bro. I'm sorry. We have a better roster than this team. I understand it's on the road and they're trying to avoid 0-2 start for Sean Payton, all that good stuff. The roster stinks. They got the best corner in the league, a top 5 safety in the league, and a bunch of guys out there, and a quarterback that got his powers sucked away like Space Jam, like the Monstars did to those guys. We shouldn't lose this game on Sunday. I don't know. I'm not predicting a blowout ever again in the history of this franchise, but
never.
We should win this game. We should win this game on Sunday and get our first 2-0 start since the Rex Grossman-led 2011 Washington Redskins.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. The only thing is, I would say I'm just nervous because we're going to Mile High. We never play good. Remember the last time we went there, we were supposed to be, it was Teddy Bridgewater. You telling me we lost, bro? You feel me? So I would definitely feel much better if we was at home with this one. But I mean, we should win. But I just that pain and that trauma of week 2 collapses, especially like last year. You know what I'm saying? You were set up for prime opportunity. You had Detroit before they were getting good. Obviously, we know they're a good team now. And we need this win. All right, so switching gears over to my guy Jalen. Give me some keys, I guess you would say, for us to defeat the Denver Broncos.
I think we need to establish the run game. Like Rio said, their best players are in the secondary. I don't know if they have too many names on the front 7, and it's not about names, but I don't know if they have too many good players in that front 7. So I think that we need to establish the run game. Now, we've been spending half of the stream talking about the O-line and the running backs. That might be an easier task than said, but I think that that's when you'll be able to expose them. I don't know if Terry McLaurin's still 100%, so to be going against who I think is also the best corner in the league, in Patrick Surtain, I don't know if that's a plus matchup for Terry. But I think that if we're able to suffocate Russell Wilson like we did Josh Dobbs, because I don't think that the Broncos have a strong offensive line either. I think that we can win this game. I think it's going to be a dogfight, another low-scoring game, because I do think that the league has the book out that we need to just start sending the kitchen sink at Sam and see if he's able to identify pressure and identify the blitz. So I think that we're going to still be working through those rough patches during there. But I think that other aspects of the game, we have advantages for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And Jay, I agree with Jay. I think this is actually would be my exact score prediction, 24-20. A Broncos fan was like, hey, look, if y'all can score over 20 on us, y'all gonna win because we can't score over 16 points. But hey, Broncos fan, look at us. You know what I'm saying? We should be able to score over 16 points, but we can't either at this point. So yeah, I mean, definitely a winnable game, and I feel as though we should win this game, but we had that same expectation last week, and we won, but it definitely wasn't in the form that we thought. Says we should be good. The Broncos were ranked 7 in turnovers. So, is there anybody on the Broncos like offensive side of the ball? Obviously, we know defense, pass Surtain. Y'all think he's the best corner in the league. We know their secondary is pretty good, but is there anybody on the offensive side of the ball that scares you or give you some type of threat?
Cortland Sutton's still there. Nobody talks about him, but Cortland Sutton can be a problem. He's a good receiver. But that's kind of all they got. Judy's banged up still. They out here playing Lil Jordan Humphrey. The thing is, we can't let Russ get his mojo back, and we let guys find their mojo again. I can't let Russ turn into Seattle vintage Russ. But we've beat Russ in Seattle with better rosters a few times. So if we can do that, we should be able to handle this game this week. It'll probably be another messy-ish game, the 23-20 type game, 20-17 type game. But just get it done. Just win. It's a nasty stat that it's been 12 years since we've been 2-0. And it's been 18 years since we've been 3-0. And 4-0 goes back to my birth year, 91. It's nasty. Every time you get into the Washington history of when the last time something happened was, it gets more disgusting the farther you dig down that list. But we should beat this Denver Broncos team. I think we're the better football team. And they probably got us on the coaching, but the players on the field matter, and I think our guys are dogs. I think we have a better roster than it.
Yeah, the coaching, I mean, and then they got back-to-back home games too. So they're definitely, the crowd's gonna be amped. They're definitely gonna be looking, to avoid an 0-2 start. That's why I kind of wish the Raiders, they beat the Raiders, because I'm like, all right, they want to know, they kind of feeling themselves. But now they're desperate, bro. They do not want to go down 0-2, especially in that division. I mean, I don't think anybody.
Not only did they lose week 1, they're losing the state to the Colorado Buffs. Go Buffs. Go Buffs. They're losing.
Hey, Rio had to throw that in there. Rio had to throw that.
Hey, I'm waiting on my Coach Prime gear to come on, bro. I'm an honorary Colorado Buffs fan for my guy Prime. They're the number 2 football team in the state of Colorado now. So they need to give their fans something to cheer about before they all just stop caring about the professional team.
Nah, for real. I'm with you, bro. Like I said, I already asked. I put my application in. Can I join the bandwagon? Because, bro, they definitely I think they may become the number 1 sports team in Colorado. The Nuggets obviously won the championship, but who really cares about basketball? Like, let's be for real. When football's on, nobody care about basketball. Nobody care. Football reigns supreme over basketball. Let's just start right there. You know what I'm saying? So if college football, especially with Deion Sanders in that town, like you said, I think they may even overtake the Denver Broncos. The Denver Nuggets. But yeah, man, I feel like that may be all we have tonight, my guys. I appreciate y'all for joining me, man, and rooting for, obviously this team and talking a lot of good and keeping it real. That's one thing I like about y'all and just most of this community. We keep it real, you know what I'm saying? And we give the people what they want. They may not all the time agree, but I'd rather us give them the real than just, fill their head up with, positivity all the time and just lies. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I appreciate y'all for joining me. We just hit that hour mark. I'm gonna go ahead and let the guys get their final goodbyes and tell us any upcoming content and where we can find you. Let's go ahead and start with my guy Rio.
Yes, sir. Rio Robinson, rambling with Rio, rambling about Washington. Rio_Robinson91 on social media. I'll be doing my game preview tomorrow with Benjamin Albright, who covers the Broncos and does a lot of NFL insider stuff nationally. We're going to be talking about all things Denver. I need him to break that roster down and tell me why I should be concerned at all about this game Sunday. And yeah, per usual, you already know the vibes. I'll be back out there with Jalen next week when Buffalo comes to town. Bills Mafia, man. We throwing people through chairs. We throwing people through tables, Dudley Boy style.
And somebody with the rock bottom.
Yes, sir. So I appreciate you for coming on. My guy Jalen making his debut on the channel. Hopefully we can all link up again soon over here, man. I enjoyed this one. Let the people know where they can find you and all the upcoming content you have for the people.
My dog, for real. Thanks for letting me on. I would love to be back. As I mentioned before, Bleeding Burgundy and Gold, Bleeding BNG on YouTube, Bleeding G on X, Bleeding BNG on Instagram. We're on all podcast platforms. Just search Bleeding Burgundy and Gold. We're coming with a lot of content. As they mentioned before, I need to get to 1K. I'm doing a 1K subscriber giveaway. I'm sending a lucky Bleeding BNG subscriber to a game, section 139. Row 10. So we're not doing the nosebleeds. We're not doing the nosebleeds at all. If you check the blog from that seat. So yeah, make sure you tap into the page because it's a whole lot of content coming in football season. So we got to work just as hard as the team we cheer for.
Yeah, definitely, man. Y'all go into that giveaway. What y'all waiting for? I know I would want to go to a game sitting in them beautiful seats, man. So make sure y'all go subscribe and get my guy to 1K and also hit up Real Robison. Even though they all know Real Robison, if you don't know Real Robison, you've been under a rock. Go subscribe to my guy. But with that being said, it's me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe, hail to the Washington Commanders, and get me to 6K. I'm almost there. Let's get it. And we'll see y'all later. Peace.